Donnie and house splits going down. Bringing all the pet keepers straight out of town. Reptile lovers, cats and all watchers too. Tune in, y'all. We got the groove for you. Everyday keepers, that's how we roll. Sharing love and knowledge, soul to soul. Grab your leash or tank, let's take control. Come on. Everyday keepers, yeah, we break the mold.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through episode 24 of Everyday Keepers. You already know, this is Don D with Uptown Exotics, and you already know who this is. On my screen, it's to my right or left. I don't even know, but you know who that is. That's Elias. You know who that is.
What it do, everybody? Thank you for tapping in.
I believe we are on your network today as well, or I mean your channel rather.
Yes, we're also streaming on our channel. I got it up on my iPad. So comment on Creative Reptiles, comment on there, and do all the things. And if you're not blue, I'll turn you blue. But yes, subscribe, all that jazz on Creative Reptiles YouTube channel.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you're watching from Keys Constrictor's channel, make sure you hit that like button. And I'm sure you're already subscribed to this channel, but then hop on over to Creative Reptiles, hit the like button over there, subscribe. And to be honest, anybody that's in this chat, if you're not already subscribed to Creative Reptiles, what is wrong? I mean, I think Elias was like the first YouTube podcaster, if I remember correctly. He'd been doing YouTube podcasting for about that long.
I've been doing YouTube for about 12 years, but I wasn't the first podcast. And no.
All right, you were the second, whatever. Tomato. But yeah, get over there, subscribe so he can turn you blue, and comment so he can turn you blue, and all that good stuff. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. It's raining here in Pennsylvania again. Surprise, surprise. I didn't know it was supposed to rain today. I was out weed whacking, and all of a sudden, this big raindrops too, not just little tiny drops, just big old hitting me in the head and everything. So I just weed whacked and came inside. But I did get to water the garden this morning. I put down some new fertilizer, a liquid fertilizer that I'm hoping will really jumpstart things. Things are growing, but not at the speed that I want them to grow. So I'm hoping this liquid fertilizer will definitely kick things off. Speaking of kicking things off, there's a whole lot of people. The chat is just like going crazy. So let's say hello to some folks. Dickie Foster, #1 in the chat. First up again. Hello, Dickie. Thank you for being here. Brave, thank you for being here. Certainly appreciate you. Spring Creek Serpents, as always, appreciate you as well. Thank you. ENT, what is up? I saw my shirt. Did y'all see the shirt? Did y'all peep the post this morning? That shirt was looking so good. Appreciate y'all. Nikki, appreciate you. And huge shout out to Nikki. I'm going to get back into this in a couple of seconds after I say hello to everybody. But huge shout out to Nikki. Thank you very much, and happy Pride Month. Exactly. Rudy, thank you for joining us. Good morning. Good afternoon. I don't know where you are, but hello. Hello. Travis, appreciate you. Thank you for joining us.
Jay, what it do, Jay? Good morning.
Jay, I know T Keys or somebody mentioned we got to get you back onto one of the shows sometime soon to talk about your trip to South America. We are all done here about it. The pictures and videos look awesome. Yes. Tommy, thank you for being here. Appreciate you.
Kenny,
his birthday party. All right. Replay gang. Already know, Replay gang. What's up, Brian? Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Jamie. Hello, y'all. Hi, Jamie. How are And look at those whiskey bombs. And more whiskey bombs from Mitzi. Thank you, Mitzi. Appreciate you. Everybody felt those whiskey bombs. You know, we love the whiskey bombs in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay gang in the chat as well. Big hearts up to you, Mitzi. Appreciate you. Yes, that shirt did have your man looking good. Looking real good. You already know. You already know. So I just wanted to click that. Yes, you're here, Nikki. Click that like button. And of course, as I'm getting ready, okay. I think I'm good. It looked like I was spinning for a second, of course, as I'm getting ready to.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Give my rant. Actually, I'm watching the TV and I'm frozen. So hopefully it comes back soon.
Yeah, your camera did freeze, but we can still hear you. We can still hear you. Well,
okay.
we did.
All right, we're good then.
We did. There we go.
I first. What's that?
No, you're good. You came back real
You're
quick.
good?
I heard you. Yeah.
Okay. Again, I want to thank Nikki. You know you're in with the right tribe when I open up my Instagram and I see nothing but Pride-related logos, Pride-themed logos, not logos, but logo on the screen. And Nikki created all of those, I believe, and I thank you for that. And I thank everybody for the support. And for those that commented that they put up their Pride-related logos late, it's never too late to show support. It is never too late. It may be late in the month, in Pride Month, but it's never too late to show support. And for me, Pride is 365 days a year. So I thank you all for your support. And on the flip side, we do as a whole, not just within our community, but as a whole, we still have a lot of work that needs to be done. I was watching a TikTok guy yesterday, and I just found him, I guess over the weekend. He does a lot with cooking. He eats a lot of meat. So his streams are either cooking in the kitchen or working out. And he puts up a little blurb on all of his live streams. It says, "Just a guy that likes playing with his meat. I'm too ugly for OnlyFans, so maybe I'll do only feet." And I'm like, okay, he's punny. We like that. This is fun. We can watch him. We can work with that. So I'm watching him yesterday, and a guy commented about how he likes looking at his face, and the guy's like, "Oh, thank you, appreciate that." And then the guy asked him if he supported the LGBTQ community. And this guy says, "No, I don't." He says, "I support anybody in the fact of whoever they want to have sex with, but I do not support the LGBTQ community, just like I don't support the BLM community, because they're the same as he equated them to the KKK." Now there are a couple of right, Elias. There are a couple of issues that need to be corrected here. Number one, sexuality and sex are two different things. And just because someone is in support of the LGBT community does not necessarily have anything to do with sex. I know some gay people that don't have sex. I know some straight people that don't have sex. You know, it's not all about having sex. The LGBTQ community, we are working on creating equality for all of us. We just want the same equal rights that everybody else has. Same with BLM, Black Lives Matter. They just want all the Black lives to have the same rights and equality as everyone else. The KKK, they want to take those away from those two communities. So equating the two, or the two communities with the KKK, that's not right. That's not right. And we have to do better. And I, as soon as he said that, I unfollowed, I left the stream. I was like, I'm out. We can't do this. And Elias is on the road as always.
No, I
This
had to step out. I had to step out for this one. I had to step out for this one because I couldn't say what I wanted to say on the inside of that.
Fair enough.
Oh my God.
Fair enough.
I just don't see you can tell someone did not pay attention in school who was supposed to pay attention in school.
Completely.
Like you can't equate a hate group with people who are trying to fight for their civil rights. They are two different things. They are the total opposite of each other. We're saying, BLM is saying, don't kill us. If you're arresting us for a traffic stop, don't shoot us. Give us the ticket and let's go on our merry way like everybody else. The alphabet gang, us, we're like, yo, if we choose to get married, don't hinder us. If people like me choose to transition, don't hinder us. Stay out of our way. Let me and my doctor determine what is best for us without you writing laws.
Yes.
But the other group, the white caps, are you serious? Like that's a slap in the face. And yeah, you're better than me. I'm glad you hit the unfollow and block, but I would have said some choice words before I unfollow.
I know you would have, but and there's nothing wrong with that. But I also know that it would have been in one ear and right out the other. And I don't have time. I don't have time.
And I will say this, for those who try to be colorblind or, oh, we're all one group, we're all one family, like, I don't see color, until the whole world thinks the same way you do, we have no choice but to see.
Yes.
We have no choice but to. We can't. It's a privilege for you to not see color. But when I walk out the house, I have no choice because I'm bombarded with it because I live in the South. I don't live in LA where they pretend and give you microaggressions. I don't live in New York where it's a melting pot, but you still got to deal with underhanded, backhanded compliments. I live in the South where the minute they look at you, they say, F you. We don't like you. We don't like your color. We don't like your ethnicity. We don't like none of that. Like, they're very bold down here. So I have no choice but to see color and everything under the sun. I have no choice but to see the differences. So it annoys me when people who are not our color be like, oh, I don't see race. I don't see this. We're the same. It's like you have to be aware because we live in a world, the real world, not make-believe, not fantasy world, not the books that we read. We live in a real world, and until you see it, you're never going to see what we go through and what we have to deal with on a daily basis. You can't be an ally and turn a blind eye. That's contradicting.
Very much, very much. And that is why I wanted Elias here, because I knew he would have something to say. But speaking of people that have something to say, there are some people that are helping to pay these bills around here. So they got a lot to say. So let's check out these sponsors so we can get on with the show.
Banana Bread Royals demonstrates that taking risks leads to incredible rewards. Their work with hypo is outstanding, and the way they combine it with their Wookiee line is truly unparalleled. The interaction with other genes like Blackhead and Stranger produces breathtaking, one-of-a-kind animals. Be sure to follow them on Morph Market and Instagram. Static Morphs, an up-and-coming breeder, has been working quietly under the radar and producing some heat, most notably working Stranger and Chocolate into DG, Clown, and Pied combos. Go on their Morph Market today and see what they have available. Lindworm Exotics specializes in a multitude of reptiles such as ball pythons, dual boas, coastal rosy boas, and false water cobras, to name a few. They are dedicated to providing the public with well-adjusted animals with superior quality. Follow them on Instagram and Morph Market. Black Box Reptile Cages should be your go-to for high-quality reptile enclosures and rack systems. They offer versatile hatchling and adult racks that work with both Vision and Freedom Breeder tubs, as well as a wide range of terrestrial, arboreal, and bioactive cages. Located in Beaufort, Georgia, Black Box Reptile Cages offers local pickup as well as ship and freight. Check them out at blackboxcages.com and use code WhiskeyBomb25 for 5% off. Ninja Balls is more than a breeder, he's a creator. He's the innovative thinker that brought you the Kiki Ball. He strives to make living works of art and improve upon them year in and year out. Follow him today on Instagram at Morph Market and know that with each purchase you make, you're getting quality. Selected Reptiles works with a wide range of genetic combos, including Hypo VPI Xanthic, DG VPI Xanthic, and Zebra, but where they stand out is their work with Monsoon, Monarch, Sunset, and other high-end morphs. In addition to reptiles, they produce premium feeder rodents, delivering to Florida, Georgia, and North and South Carolina. Make sure to use promo code WhiskeyBomb5 for 5% off any snake. Check them out on Wolf Market or reach out directly.
Thank you of the sponsors. And thank you to everybody that is working behind the scenes. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. So I just sit here and look pretty. But there's a lot of people that are working behind the scenes to make sure the show runs smoothly. So thank you to everyone that's working behind the scenes, and thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you to Jordan. I saw Jordan pop in. Appreciate you. Real quick, I took Chelsea, my dwarf retic that I got from Jordan. I took her to the Juneteenth festival, a local Juneteenth festival on Thursday, and she was a huge hit. And we had a lot of fun. Kids were playing with her and holding her and checking her out. And I think I'm frozen again. Elias, am I frozen?
No, you're good. You're good. You're still talking. I hear you. You haven't broken up.
Okay. So kids got to handle her and everything, and had a great time. I forgot to take pictures. This is my first time doing something like this, so I forgot to take pictures. But next time we'll take pictures. But yeah, it's definitely something that I want to do again. Introducing people to the snakes and letting them know that they're harmless creatures. They're harmless creatures and a lot of fun. But it was good to see the kids interacting with them. Speaking of interacting, and I don't want to keep her back there any longer. This is a long intro. I'm sorry, I don't do intros this long usually. But last week I did Mastiff, actually not my first breed, but my other current breed. This week is the Connie Corso episode, and I have the owner. Yes, I know you excited.
Look, you're the reason why I'm in love with Quake. Like, I'm so excited.
Yes, I know you are. We have one of the owners of one of Quake's clutch mates, Gino. So let's bring out Janet.
Hello.
Hi,
Thank you so much
Janet.
for having me today.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a beautiful, hot day here in Virginia. So I'm sorry about your rainy weather. It's gorgeous here.
Yeah, well, I'm used to it now. It's been raining so much.
Yeah, we had like 2 weeks of rain. So I'm happy we've had sunshine and no rain for like 2 days straight. It's like we're getting spoiled. So
Yeah, it'll be dry and sunny for the next couple of days, so I'll be fine. I just don't have to water the garden tonight. I watered it this morning, and since it's been so hot, I was going to water it tonight, but I don't have to now. So we'll look at the bright side. So I'm sure everybody that is here is not familiar with you. So if you could just give a brief introduction so they know who you are and all that good stuff.
Yes. My name is Janet Garcia. I live in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I am an
Nice.
owner of a Connie Corso, which is, of course, the Italian Mastiff. My dog, his name is Gino. What they're going on 4. They're going to be 4 this year in August. It's crazy
Yes.
how time flies.
I know.
Um, Obviously, my pup is same litter as your pup, and he's a male. He is about 165 pounds, so he is a big boy. But he is my big baby. Funny story about how we, came to be Gino's parents. We have some we have 3 kids total, but our third one didn't come easy, right? We had tried for years, and we finally just made peace with it. We're like, we have 1 boy, 1 girl, healthy, happy, beautiful babies. Like, we just need to be happy with what we have, and let's get a dog. Because I had a lab many moons ago, but it was, when my lab had passed of old age, I was very sad. So it took me almost 4 years to really accept the thought of getting another dog to bring into my family. And so we started having the dog conversation, and we could not decide, do we get a Frenchie or do we get a Connie? And I had wanted Connie, I wanted a Connie since 2007. That's when I first discovered the breed. I've always been a fan. I love big dogs, and they're just so gorgeous. They're beautiful to look at. And I just wanted to know everything that there was to know about the breed. And, after months of deliberation, of course, I won. So I get my Connie, because my husband was the one that wanted the Frenchie. And so we spent some time over the course of months, speaking with our breeder and going to Maryland to meet her and see the variations of the Connies and, male, female, big, small. It was really interesting. So we took a couple trips and learned as much as we could, and then got to see the litter in person. And I think she did a fantastic job pairing the pup with us, and, personality wise. And so we brought the dog home in October, and then I found out in November I was pregnant. So it was just,
oh my goodness.
The universe was like, you've tried for years, and then you make peace with it and get a dog. Ha ha, joke's on you. So then, of course, it was really sweet though, because when I was pregnant, Gino, as he grew, he didn't have a sense of how big he was. So he was always laying on me or sitting on me. And I have these photos of me in a chair with my big, huge pregnant belly to one side and Gino laying on the other. So now I have 2 big babies. One is just a lot bigger than my other one.
Yes. Oh, that is so awesome. That's so awesome. And yes, Elias, that is 2 very extremes.
Yeah, I was like, how did you go from Frenchie to Connie? That was what the
It's really my husband. And so our close friend Jamie, she's got a ton of Frenchies. And it's so funny because they are so vocal. And so I just, was playing him videos of these vocal Frenchies. I'm like, is this really what, you wanted to, you want to hear all day, every day? I was like, I think we need something a little bit more calm.
Yes. And I don't know if calm is compared to a Frenchie,
right.
yes, but Quake is far from calm. And when I compare my Mastiff to Quake, Swagger's calm. Swagger will not, if he hears a sound outside, he's not jumping up unless it's a dog barking real close by. The slightest sound, Quake is at the window.
Oh, for sure. That
Quake
hyper
is right at the
awareness.
window.
Yeah, the hyper awareness just comes.
Hey, Alan.
There's no getting around it.
Yes. Very aware, and that was new for me because she's my first Corso. I met Vicky in showing with showing dogs. I was showing my Mastiff, and she was showing Corsos. And after Swagger got his championship, I helped Vicky a little bit showing her dogs. So that was I got to know Connie Corsos, through her. And got to learn that they're not as bad as the reputation that they had. A lot of that was done through selective breeding. That Vicky, definitely paid close attention to. And I really did not want a puppy. I think Swagger, how old is he? He's going to be 9. So he was 5, and I was done. I did not want a puppy. And Vicky comes to me and she's like, and I did tell her that I wanted a Corso, but I didn't want a puppy. And I especially did not want a female having a male. So here she comes. Here comes Vicky. I got this puppy for you. It's a
Like
girl.
she did not listen to anything you said. You told her your requirement. She said, "Oh, I bet." That's what you want.
Didn't listen to a word. What's up, Wiz? Thank you for being here. Appreciate
What
you.
up, Wiz?
Yeah, she didn't listen to a thing. So I went to, what's that?
Oh, I was just gonna say, Vicky had offered us a female as well. So that there's a female, and then there was Gino, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go with Gino. I've had male dogs my whole life, and I was like, I'm not sure if I'm ready for a female. The temperament can be very, very different. So it just felt more natural to me and my family to bring in a male.
Okay, makes
but
sense.
I'm sure, because I think every Connie is so different, and I think that's really important to highlight too. Is the more you get to know the breed and the more you get to learn about the breed, every single pup is going to be different. They're going to have their own mannerisms, their own personality, the whole 9 yards, and it starts early.
Yes, it does, and Quake is very different from any female dog that I've had. She's very protective. That's a good word. That's a good word. She's very protective. She'll come out, like when I'm working out in the garden, I bring her outside with me, and she'll sit there. She'll probably sit about 3 or 4 feet away from me, but she'll just be looking everywhere. And she is tuned in to everything. I take Swagger outside. He doesn't even know what's going on. There's times when both of them will be outside and she'll come in first and he'll stand. I have steps that come down from my yard, and he'll stand at the steps and look around the yard for her, not even noticing that she's already inside. He doesn't take notice to things. But Quake definitely takes notice to a lot. Bear, what is up? Thank you for joining us.
Bear?
Appreciate you. Mariah, I saw you sneaking
I got
in
a
too.
question.
Hello, Mariah. Appreciate you.
So I have a question. Janet, when you first got Gino, and of course you found out that you're pregnant and stuff, how long or how tough was training him as a puppy for you? Or did your husband do most of the work? Like how was it training him to go to the restroom, sit, stay, don't do this, don't climb on that, but wow, about to be pregnant?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was, we had just found
Great
out,
question.
so I wasn't like, huge right away. So that was good. But we were great. We trained as a family, and then we got a really amazing trainer. Her name is Renee. She owns High Ground Canine here in Virginia Beach, and she was phenomenal. We started training with Gino like almost immediately. As far as, she even kept him for 2 weeks and did that 2 weeks off leash training. It was very, very intense, very thorough, lots of socialization early on. He knows his cues. He knows, like, we were so all over it per se, that we didn't want to waste any time, and we didn't want to approach the training too lazy, especially now knowing that we were going to have a baby around. So it wasn't difficult at all. Gino was really just an amazing dog, and he still is to this day. I think as he gets older, some of his little attitude has started to come out. And so we just go back to his original training, and our trainer, we still meet with her every once in a while, and she does our boarding as well. And so that's been a blessing. But knowing that we had a new one on the way, we were like, okay. And his rate of growth, Gino had these massive paws, and as he continued to grow, it's just like they still didn't get to the point where they, came he was tripping over his own feet, and I'm like, he still has growing to do, and he continued to grow for the first 2.5-3 years, and it was like, okay, do you think he's done? I'm like, I don't know, because every time I think he's done growing, he would gain another like 15 pounds, or he'd get a little bit taller. And then we also had to do the training because of our other two. I have a 13-year-old son and a 9-year-old daughter, and obviously they're, subtract 4 years, and that they're that age when we first got, the dog. And so as Gino grew, that pecking order, he would try to like obviously challenge that. And that's one of the things that we were prepared for with, help with our trainer. And we really had to make sure that the children could check Gino per se, and not get too bravado or machismo, or however you want to describe it, right? Like, as he continued to grow, he was like, okay, he's like, I'm bigger than Sophia, so that means like I'm, Gina, Sophia has to listen to me. And I'm like, no, Gino, that's not how it works. But Sophia had to check Gino, and Sophia can correct Gino. My kids know the commands, and they know. And then another thing was like the feeding. As Gino continued to grow, if he started to show any like food aggression, we would make sure to correct that behavior through making sure that he was in a sit stay position. The children were feeding him. He waited for his command to eat his food. So it was just one of those things where we did not approach the training piece lightly, simply because we knew he was going to be massive, and that we only had a good 6 to 9 months before he was, double the size of our children, right? So, but it was funny because while I was pregnant, like I said, he used to lay on me, and like, he was always a very physical touch dog. And then once he got over 150 pounds, I was like, I can't have you on me anymore. Like, it's just not feasible. And so of course, like now he'll just put his head on me. So putting his massive head on my lap or on my leg or on my arm or wherever I'm sitting is kind of like his way of saying like, okay, Mom, I'm here, like, hold me. And I'm like, that doesn't work anymore. But then he got really close with the baby. So it's like, we brought the baby home from the hospital, and it was like anywhere we were going with the baby, whether it was walking around the kitchen or, just, having the baby around, he would follow us. And it was like, okay, always checking, like, where is Mom? Where is baby? So he acclimated to us having a newborn very quickly. And, years later, we're now getting into the process of the toddler, telling him, Gino, no, sit down, and giving him treats and stuff. So our toddler is, as he begins to speak more and direct more, their bond is becoming a different type of bond. It's gone from like crawling and throwing things at the dog to now talking to the dog. And it's really sweet to see that.
That is cute.
That is cute. So, out of all the people in the house, you got you, your husband, the 3 kids. Who is Gino's favorite? Like, push come to shove, this is my person. You, that's funny.
I'm the mama bear. He is always checking for me. I also work from home, so I'm home a lot more than everybody else is, but I didn't realize until I had a nanny for the newborn for a short period of time when I reacclimated myself to working, and I didn't realize it. But when I leave, he'll sit at the door and he'll cry and like whimper. And I'm like, I didn't know that. And I had him for how long? And I was like, I didn't know he did that. So that kind of made me feel bad. But no, he's definitely a mama's boy. Wherever I go, he wants to go. If I go sit in the backyard, and I'm not sure about your pup, but Gino slobbers, and I have to have towels with me to like either wipe his mouth or lay over my lap for when he puts his mouth and his head on me. And heaven forbid you wear a cute outfit, because you're going to get some type of saliva somewhere. So you better have the wipes and the towel ready. But he definitely just always wants to be on me and by my side. So I'm constantly like, okay, all right, where's my towel? Like, let's wipe you down. Okay, you can sit with me now.
Yeah, I if I'm going somewhere, if I'm at home, I'll just have like my home clothes on. That can get dirty because I have years of experience with a Mastiff, and now with Connie Corso. So I don't wear anything that I don't want to get dirty. If I'm going out somewhere, I don't change until I'm getting ready to leave, and they have to stay away from me.
Right.
But Quake, she doesn't drool as bad as Swagger does. But the other night she had her head on my lap, and I'm sitting there, I'm watching TV, she's sleeping, and next thing I know, I feel drool running down my leg. And I'm like, come on, you've never done this before.
It's so bad. And like when Gino shakes
That was
his
some
head,
good sleep.
his jowls just like move. It's almost like a cartoon. And then you just see the saliva going in like all different directions. I had to buy one of those. I don't know if you've seen the cleaning videos, but they have an extension and it's like for you to scrub the wall, because like the saliva just goes everywhere and it's so gross. And I'm like, okay, we need a tool to help us, because our mudroom, especially after he's done eating, it's like we have to clean that thing at least once a week.
Yeah, it's messy, and
Yeah.
Is Gino also all black like Quake?
Yes, and he has one little patch of white hair like on his chest.
On his chest. Aww.
Yeah, I love it. You know, he's so handsome, and you know, when he in the dark, when he lies down and closes his eyes, you wouldn't see him.
no.
You'd walk right by him.
I have to have a flashlight for my backyard because I can't see where she is at all. I can see Swagger; he's fawn colored, so I can see him, but I can't see Quake. But yeah, Elias. Their mother is black, and Vicky bred her to a red dog. And T-Keys, if you could put up the picture of, there it is. Yes, that's their father.
Oh, nice.
So that's Congo, and she was hoping for, you know, a mixture of colors.
Both, yeah.
And all 12 dogs came out black.
Mom was dominant. She said, nope, my gene.
Yes. So we know the black gene is the dominant gene.
Oh, but that's beautiful.
That's Quake with Swagger.
That is so precious.
Yes.
They were so cute when they were that tiny. When they were
they were, and he was so good with her. He was the best.
She looks like a menace. Like, I'm about to terrorize this dog. Poor Swagger.
And that was right after I brought her home. She still had the tape on her ears.
Aww. So how long does it take for them to get like big size? Like 6 months, 7 months?
The growth happens quickly. I mean, by 4 months, you know, Gino was well over 50 pounds. By 6 or 7 months, he was 50, 60 pounds. You know, it's just like every day you wake up, it's like they grew even more. It's like, where'd my little puppy go? And but they still have the puppy mannerisms, right? And it's tough because you see this big dog and you're like not in your brain thinking, okay, well, this dog is only 6 months old. No, like he's massive, but he's a baby.
Yeah.
they don't grow as fast as Mastiffs. Mastiffs gain like 5 pounds a week. As puppies, the Corso, they do still grow fast, but they reach, you know, their full size about, you know, 3-4 years old. So they're both should be done. And 165 pounds. I hope Gino's done.
Yes, he's maintained consistent at the, you know, that seems to be his steady weight now. He'll drop like, you know, a little bit like 160, 163, but he seems to stay at that 165 range. That seems to be his norm. And I mean, he still has, you know, we always gauge like, oh my gosh, is he like too big? Am I feeding him too much? But, you know, when we look at him in his frame, you can still see the shape. It's just, he's a big boy. He takes after his dad. Yeah. You know, his dad was massive. Like, and you know, the pictures are beautiful. You know, his father is an amazing looking dog, but when you were to meet him in person, the sweetest dog for sure.
He was so sweet, but I was not ready for his size.
His head alone was like this big. Like it just is crazy. How
Yes.
if you were to meet, Gino's dad. And then of course, like his mom, I think was a solid like 150, not as tall, by no means anywhere the size of the dad. So
Right.
I think the variation of this litter really kind of shines. Like,
Yes.
you have a wide variety here.
Yes. So
Now is Gina? Oh,
there was a question, or I don't want to mispronounce, Araconid Inc.
Arachnid.
Arachnid, is that what it is?
Arachnid. Her name is LJ. But
What's that?
LJ. LJ. Her name is
Oh, LJ.
Hi, LJ.
What up, LJ?
Also,
LJ's
Dr.
from a day one. She's been with us from the beginning. She's from
Okay.
the UK. Yeah, she wants to know. She loves Connie Corso. That's her favorite dog breed, but they are on the list to be banned. And within the next few years, she wants to know how y'all feel
In
about
the UK, yeah. The
Yeah.
UK just hate big dogs. I don't know why, because big dogs are the calmest. They're the sweetest. It's the little dogs that are the terrorists.
They are, but the Connie Corso has had a very bad reputation. They've been bred to not be the calm, good dogs that they are, and there's still some out there that really have issues, so I get the UK's concern, but they just they need to find good breeders. Here in the United States, breeders have worked really hard to improve the breed so that they're not as bad as what they used to be.
I think I'll just jump in too quickly on this topic for sure, because obviously as a Connie Corso owner, like it's sad to hear that that's going to happen. But when you think about the Connie, their nature is protection, right? They're a protection dog of property,
Yes.
cattle, farm animals, their family, et cetera, et cetera. So that's in their blood, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? And I think what happens is education, miscommunication, misunderstanding. We have to respect the breed and respect the dog first, and accept like, okay, a dog is a dog, whether it's a 5-pound like puppy that goes in some lady's purse and bebops around town all day, or if it's 165 Connie Corso that I have to be more mindful when I take for a walk or when I go to socialize, right? Like you have to respect that it's a dog first. And then if you're going to be a Connie Corso owner, like you have to approach it with the right mentality and do the right thing. And so what does that mean? That means training, that means taking ownership, that means taking accountability, understanding your dog, understanding your dog's triggers, understanding that like, hey, there's certain environments that I learned quickly didn't fit Gino. And so I just chose to, okay, good. I can take him if I want to. Do I need to take him? No, because I know from past experiences, how certain things play out. And it's like, I think it sucks that they're being banned, but I don't think the dog is the problem. It's the people that are the problem, right? And so you can have healthy boundaries, you can have barriers, you can have education, but like it's these people that are out here saying like, oh, I'm just going to get a dog and know nothing about the breed. Like I'm not saying everyone should be a Connie Corso owner. That's not what I'm saying at all. I think there should be a proper approach to it. And it's sad that like certain breeds get these bad stereotypes because they fell into the hands of a human that just chose to not, put any respect on their name per se.
And a lot of people get dogs like Connie Corsos or any of the pit breeds and raise them to be the vicious attack guard dogs. And a lot of this is ingrained in them. They don't need any teaching. I've never taught Quake to protect. She
in her
doesn't
nature.
like my neighbor. Yeah,
it is in their DNA.
Yeah, she doesn't like my neighbor. I don't know why. He's never done anything to her, but whenever he's out, she will bark at him, and I've had to, I'll be inside and I'll just snap my fingers, and she'll hear me snap my fingers, and she'll stop. But I've also had to teach him, just ignore her. she's barking to be barking. Ignore her, because he would like comment and yell or whatever, and I had to tell him, just ignore her and she will leave you alone, and she does. He'll walk to his garage and she'll walk with him along the fence, but she won't bark at him anymore. So I had to teach him how to stop, how to stop her from barking at him. But
and that's a I see you, I'm tracking you, I know you're here. But I will say my dog Gino, he does not like men. A lot of the times he does not like children, which is crazy for me because I have 3 kids, and then I'm like, all the neighborhood kids come to my home. Like they want to be here to play with Dominic or Sophia, or to see like, hey, what are you guys doing today? So I have kids in and out of my house all the time. And we went from just crating him. And then when the kids would walk by the crate, he would like growl and bark. And it was very aggressive and very scary. And I'm like, this child is the size of your right leg. Like, why are you having that reaction? It just like, I didn't like it. So obviously we have the mini communicator and we correct that behavior. But now we have a baby gate on our mudroom. And so when the kids have friends over, we just put him in the back in the mudroom, because, I would never want a child to be scared of my dog or feel as though, being around my dog is a threat or harmful. But I will say, like, it's my responsibility to understand Gino's behavior, his triggers, how he responds to certain social environments, and to make sure that I am protecting the environment. And that starts with the dog, right? And so he does not like men. I think there's one man in at a brewery that he allowed to pet him. The other men, whether they come around or he hears the male voice, and he doesn't like it. He's like, who's in my home? Who is speaking? Like, are you a threat? Are you, friend or foe? And that's just him. He loves women. He's a ladies' man. You take him around a bunch of ladies. I had this lady at a brewery. She just walked right up to Gino and like grabbed his mouth and started. I was like, ma'am, please don't grab my dog by the face. Like, you don't know my dog. I was like, I'm very happy that he allowed you to do that without like an adverse reaction. But like, that's a huge liability for me. Like, please don't do that. Like, but he does love the ladies, but kids and men, I have to be like, my spidey senses have to be on high 24/7, because he knows what he likes and what he doesn't like. I also think the energy, my dog is so in tune with my energy. And like, if I'm nervous, he picks up on that even before I can even clock the fact that I'm nervous. And so if I'm tense or nervous or on high alert about something, he just picks up on that, and then he embodies it. So he looks to me for a lot of cues regarding how he should respond, how he should feel in certain settings. And I try to reinforce positive behavior and be like, okay, like, we're going to socialize today. It's going to be fine. And then other dogs, he has these 2, Tiny and Minnie. They're these 2 huge dogs. Gosh, it's eluding me right now with their Great Danes. Sorry. They're our old neighbors.
The picture that you sent?
California. Huh?
That's one of the pictures you sent. I thought they were Great Danes.
Yeah, and so they were the homies. Like, they would come over and like we would let the dogs loose in the backyard, and the 3 of them would play, and they would not have any issues. But any other dog, like Gino, could see this little tiny dog, and he would, lose his marbles. We tried to socialize.
There they go.
There they go. There's Tiny and Gino right there in the middle. So Gino's right there in the middle, and he's almost
the Great Danes.
Yeah.
Right. They have a little bit of height on him, but not much body. They're the sweetest dogs, and they would play together all the time up until obviously the family moved. So we do miss them very much. But other than those 2, he never really made any other dog friends. I feel like at walking trails or even at breweries, I've had a couple of instances where, one time I was at a trail and a woman said, oh, can my dog meet your dog? And before I could even answer, her dog was barking and, acting crazy. And I'm like, no, ma'am. Like, and I put Gino in a sit-stay position, and he did not train him to, have minimal reaction to other dogs. Like, he needs to maintain his calm. And I take that approach simply because if my dog acted the way that a 30-pound,
Mhm.
10-pound dog acted, we're the villain, we're the bad
Yeah.
guy, we're in the
Yep.
wrong. And that's not necessarily fair, right? Just because I have a large
Right.
breed dog, I have, like, obviously, if Gino wants to do something, he's going to do it. That's why we wear the mini
Mhm.
communicator. But I think, other people don't take the training as serious as we do. And I think that kind of showcases in a lot of social environments.
So with that behavior, were y'all able to pick that up when he was a puppy, or did that come with age? Like, when did you discover, oh, he really does not like men, or oh, he really has, because he lives with a man, your husband, or
Mhm.
he lives with children. It's gonna be iffy to gauge that. Like, did you take him to a dog park and then all of a sudden you realize, oh shoot, he does not like these type of people?
So I'm not a dog park fan.
Uh-huh.
No.
I don't like to do that.
Big dogs is not, the dog park is not the place for big dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ours in Memphis, they have them segregated. Like, they got a section strictly for the small dogs and a section strictly for the big dogs. And if you take your small dog, or if you take your big dog to the small dog area, they have a big sign that says, "You are at risk. You are putting
Yeah.
yourself and your dog at risk. Like, don't blame us."
I think we put a lot of effort into like learning about the breed before we got, a dog.
Mhm.
And part of that was training and socialization, because you really have up until that 18-month mark to do as much socialization as possible before it's going to either make a difference or not make a difference. And so we did a lot of trails that were popular. So, and that helped with the training Gino to not react to dogs that were walking in close proximity, and to kind of stay focused on the commands. And of course, me or whoever if my daughter was there, my daughter does some trails with them, and like, focusing on the task at hand. They're very task oriented, and you have to keep their brains going. You have to keep them engaged, or they're going to get bored and kind of like wander off and be naughty per se. But no, it came right away. We knew right away that he wasn't a fan of kids. We knew right away that he wasn't a fan of men. Like, I can't tell you how many times we were at a brewery and he was like grumbling under his breath. And, when I first started taking him to breweries, because there's a lot in the area where we live, it was interesting because people would kind of gather and like almost form a perimeter around where we were sitting, because they wanted to meet him. They had questions. What kind of dog is that? How much does he weigh? Is he full grown? Like, how old is he? Like, and it got to a point where that would trigger Gino's nervousness.
Mhm.
And he would put his head in my lap, and I could just
Quake
feel
would
him
not like
trembling.
that.
And it's just, I like, my heart kind of went out to him, and I'm like, bud, like, we're here to socialize. Like, I have to make sure that if it comes a time where I have to put you in a social environment, you can identify what truly is a threat and when you need to respond, and to, okay, my mom is fine, everything is fine. I know I'm not happy here, but I'm going to sit down and not be crazy.
And do you think, because I've questioned myself back when I had a dog. Do you think sometimes, especially when he was a puppy, when you was like, okay, today we're going to go do socialization training, do you think he felt your nervousness going out for the first time, and that kind of also react like, wait a minute, mom, why are we here and why are you nervous?
Right. I think and he picks up on my energy so easily. So I think there have been a couple of times where I've had to, like, okay, put myself in check, because I never expect, when I go out in public, for like big crowds or multiple people to like stop us and ask us questions. I'm not a very I have a small circle, and I don't mind being out and being, talking with folks, but it can get very overwhelming very fast. And so it can be a lot. And I think at those times is kind of like where I have to be very self-aware, and I have to keep my emotions like regulated, and be like, okay, if I'm ready to get up and leave, like, now is the time. Or,
Wait, come here.
hey, you know what? If this is overwhelming for me, it's definitely overwhelming for Gino.
Yeah, because I have social anxiety. I know it's kind of hard for people in the reptile community to see that because I'm so social with them. But in public, I get nervous all the time. And so when I used to take a Koye out, I'm like, I realized that she senses my energy, and that's why she reacts the way she reacts. And so one time I just tested out. I just tested out giving her CBD beforehand. That way, when I was nervous, she didn't pick up on my energy because she was
She
drugged
was
up.
relaxed. That's so
Yeah.
funny. We tried to give these anxiety meds because we went up to Charlottesville and got an Airbnb up there, and we were going to like ski. And so there's a couple days where he was in the crate at the Airbnb because he couldn't be out. He needed to stay in the crate, and he is not used to being in the crate since we gave him basically the mud room. And so I gave him these anxiety meds, like chews for like dogs to help keep them calm. But I don't think they worked because I'll tell you what, when it was time to leave that Airbnb, the amount of dog hair I swept up was ungodly. I was like, how are you not bald right now? Because that's how like he was so anxious and like he just was shedding like crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, Gino. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try CBD with him, but I wouldn't want to do that and then take him out. I would want him to be aware.
Yeah, it
And
might
feeling
confuse him. He'll be disoriented. Yeah.
right. I can't carry a 165-pound dog if he passes out.
Yeah, yeah. My Okoye was a chocolate lab pit mix, so she was like a medium-sized dog.
Yeah,
But
that's a lot to pick up.
yeah, when I tell you she was just sitting there like this, like just focused on nothing, I was like, my baby's drugged up. She is super high right now.
Yeah, she was high as a kite. Gino doesn't like people walking behind him. So like whenever I take him out in public, like I try to keep him like, in places if I'm going to sit down, I try to pick like a corner area or like a side area that where it's like you can see who's coming in and who's going out. But again, that just is his nature. It's in his DNA. He knows where he's at. He knows where the perimeters are. He knows where I'm at, and like he's very alert, and he will so say if we go together somewhere as a family, if say two of us are together and like the other three go somewhere else, he is tracking those other three, so he knows he will watch every member of our family and like do checks. Even in the house, there's been times where we've been sitting in the kitchen and he realizes one of the kids is not there, and he will get up and do a lap around the house to see like, okay, where's the other one? Can I hear them? Can I see them? Where are they at? So he's very, he's doing the math in his head, and he's like, where are my people?
Mm-hmm. Where's my brother at? Let me go find him.
That's right. That's right.
Have y'all ever gone camping with him? Like, is he the type of dog that will go swimming and things like that? Like real, like active outdoor dog?
Yeah, so he loves trails. So we'll go and we'll do trails. In the fall, I don't like to do trails when it's too hot. The summertime, I'd rather be at a pool or a
Yeah.
beach because he's gone to the beach with us. I think I sent a picture in of that. And then, of course, we did an Airbnb in South Carolina, and I made him come into the pool to do a family photo. And as soon as I was done with my little family photo shoot, I was like, okay, Gino, you can go. And he hopped out of that pool so quick. But he will, if I'm laying on a tanning bed chair, like at the pool, he'll come and lay at the chair next to me. He does not like water. He does not like to get his feet wet. If it is raining,
He don't like bath time. He like, nope.
This grown dog will pee on my porch before he gets his feet wet to pee in the yard. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I measured his paws to see if I could get rain boots, but his paws are like way too big. I would have to have them custom made. And I'm like, you're going to have to get over it. So he'll walk the perimeter of like our porch, and he'll try to pee off the side of the porch, which never works. And I'm like, oh, that's how much he does not like getting his feet wet. So no, he's not a fan. He doesn't give us any problems bathing though. In the summer months, we'll bathe him outside, which he seems to enjoy. But we take him up to the shower during the colder months. But so he doesn't mind bathing, but he doesn't want to be in any type of water.
Yeah.
And when we took him to the down to the ocean front, and we're like, okay, like let's see if he'll throw the floaty and he'll go get it and bring it back. No, he wasn't having any of that. He's like, I don't want to be in the water. I don't want to experience it. I'm like, okay.
So I know every owner is different. Do you feed Gino the kibble, the wet food, raw diet? Like, what is his diet like as a Connie Corso?
So Gino has struggled in the past with people were calling it puppy acne. But it turned out to not be puppy acne. It turned out to be allergies. And we found out the hard way because we were like spending hundreds of dollars like every 6 to 8 weeks on allergy shots. So his diet is we do the, gosh, you would think I would know the name. It's the blue something, and it's grain free. It's the beef and bison blend. And we do 1.5 scoops of the dry food, and then we do 1.5 scoops of the wet food on top. I feel like when we put the wet food on top of the dry food, he enjoys it because it has, you know, carrots and potatoes, and it's basically like a beef stew. But I have to be very careful. So Gino's treats cannot have any chicken byproduct, no chicken at all. I don't think he's allergic to turkey, but since it's in the poultry family, I steer clear of that too. So no grains, no chicken, no poultry, no turkey, none of that. We try to focus really on like beef. He loves venison. So any type of venison, like whether it's deer jerky or, you know, the treats that have the venison in it, we do that. But I have to check labels and make sure that, you know, what he's ingesting is chicken byproduct free. And you'd be surprised, like whether it's chicken flavoring, chicken byproduct, there's chicken in so many things. You're like, why is it in here? What purpose is it serving being mixed into, you know, this thing that's saying, oh,
yeah,
food or, you know, beef food. I'm
they
like,
throw chicken in there. Yeah.
right. And I'm like, no, but he's a big beef guy. So
He's the opposite of me. I'm allergic to beef and pork and all that stuff. I can only have birds and fish.
oh man, I feel for you. I don't have any food allergies, and I'm a foodie, so I can only imagine like if somebody sat me down and was like, okay, you can't eat this anymore. I'd be like, what?
It's so sad.
Yeah,
It was so sad. I said, can I at least still have eggs? They said, yeah, that's chicken. I said, great.
Okay, good. That's a good thing. Yeah, but we're real careful with his diet because of the breakouts that he would get on his chin. So.
Aw, that's so sad. Does Quake has any allergies, or that just skips her?
None that I've really noticed. She gets her ears get a little dirty, but she doesn't have the acne like Gino. I was trying to
his were so bad
to be on the camera, but she's being a brat and does not want to come out of her crate. So, and now I can't hear anybody.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Well, we paused.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
There we go. Now I hear you.
No, I muted myself because it was a train going by early.
I saw Janet say something, but I couldn't hear what she was saying.
Yeah, I had sent in some pictures of Gino. I don't know if you guys want to look through some of those.
Well, I don't know if Keys, did I send you any of the beach pictures of Gino? I know Janet mentioned the beach. I don't remember exactly what pictures I sent you.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah, there's us at the pool. He
Look at that big, beautiful dog.
Yes.
Very well. I'm just going through the pictures, so don't nobody yell at me if I pull up something wrong.
That's okay. This was about 2 years ago. So he was already that size at like 1.5 years.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
I used to let him in here in my office. But he was stinking up my office all the time with his man farts. Oh, that's when we first got him. He was probably about 4 or 5 months in this photo. I took him for his first pup cup at Starbucks.
That boy big enough to be in a car seat.
Oh, and this is the day that we brought him.
That's so cute.
How does that little beautiful pup dog grow so big? I don't know. It just happened overnight. Seems like
I'm sorry, but the bandages on the ears is hilarious.
I do not know.
And this is the most recent picture. This was a couple weeks ago. I like to call Gino my stage 5 clinger. So he wants to be on me, which I love. He's a snuggle bug, but he has to be on me. He puts his head on me. Like anytime I'm sitting down, he thinks it's an open invitation. See, and I stopped petting him. And so when you stop petting him, he puts his hands up and he's like, I did not tell you that you could stop petting me.
Yep.
You have to keep going.
Easy, what's up? Yes, Quake is the same way. She'll grab my hand and pull it
Oh, the
into her.
snow.
Quake loves the
Quake like
Oh,
snow.
wow.
Gino liked the snow too. I would make, and you can see the size here compared to like, and I'm puffed out. I have like a snowsuit on, a big puffer jacket because I do not like being.
Wow.
I
Look
bundle
how
myself
tall
up.
he is. Oh my gosh.
He's
That's
massive. He's a
crazy.
big boy. But I was making little snowballs and throwing them up, and he was catching them. So
Oh man.
There's my two.
tiny.
That picture, it was a couple of weeks after I got her and I had to give her a bath, and she was not happy with me. The one where
Does she
she's on
not
the
like
sofa.
that time?
She was no, she was not happy at all. And it was so funny because she was so small at that time. I could give her a bath in my kitchen sink. She fit in the kitchen sink, but she was not happy.
Not anymore.
And she doesn't get toys with stuffing because that's what happens within minutes.
Yeah. So does Quick nurse on like towels? Gino loves towels, and so I use them obviously to clean his mouth. But if I leave one hanging, he'll snatch it, and then he'll go and he'll put the towel in between his little paws, kind of like this, and he'll nom on it, and then he'll fall asleep. And it's like he nurses. It's almost like a pacifier, but it's a towel.
That is too cute. Oh my gosh.
The toys that she's taken the stuffing out of, she still has, and she'll nurse on them, but not. I don't have any towels laying around, but she'll nurse on the toys that don't have stuffing.
Gotcha. I just thought that was so interesting. Like there's something about having the towel and just like
That soothes him, yeah.
boy, and like that's how he'll fall asleep. He'll hold it in his little paws and he'll have it in his mouth, and then he'll just, take a little nap. It's very cute.
I love it. I love this breed. Will I get
they're
more?
cute.
I don't know. I keep saying I'm done. Swagger's going to be 9 this year.
Aw.
That's old. So I probably still have about a good 5 to 8 years of Quake left. We'll
get
see
2
what
more
happens.
so that
I feel like you're gonna get another one. I feel like when Swagger leaves, you're gonna grieve and everything, but I feel like you're gonna get another one. You're gonna do it.
I don't know because I'm 51 now. I've had a dog for the past 30 years of my life.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
I haven't been able to do everything that I want to do with my life because there's been at least one
A
dog
dog.
in my
Yeah.
house. So I don't know. I love having a dog, but we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Never say.
little Italian army. Like but after we learned like about the slobber, I think that gave me like, I was like, I don't think I could do 3 of these. But in my mind, it sounded like I could have like a little Italian mafia trio. I could have,
I feel like I feel like once,
a Carmen or something like that. I was like, I
yeah.
want to have 3 of them, but no. I think they're so beautiful. I wanted a blue one for sure, and an all tan one, because they're just so gorgeous. They're great dogs. They're gorgeous to look at. They're great family dogs. Like, I would if I didn't have to clean up all the slobber. I think I'd probably have a couple more by now.
Look, your kids are gonna grow up, go off to college, and when they come back and visit for the holidays, they're gonna be like, "Why were there 4 more dogs?" So you're like, "What happened?"
Right. Yeah, after I'm an empty nester, I'm gonna have to fill the void. That's right. I might just
all these giant puppies are gonna meet them at the door. They're like, "Wait a minute, what happened?"
Exactly.
Well, Brian, the breeder that we got our dogs from, just had 2 litters.
Uh-oh. Don't tell me that, because I said I was done with dogs and I was just gonna stick with snakes, but y'all make me want a Connie Corso. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all make me want one.
They're great.
Well,
I love Gino, and they're such a great breed. There's so many positive qualities.
yes.
And they're so smart. I think that's another thing I will say is, they like to be mentally stimulated, and like you train them, and once they're like conditioned to, keywords and key trainings, like they can pick up on anything. They're so
Yes.
smart.
They are.
Don't say it out loud, but do you have a secret word, like just in case someone breaks into your house and you're home alone? Like, is there a secret code word for him, for Gino? Or you just gonna be like, look, I just hope Gino just knows what to do when it happens.
Look, and so it's funny because when I think about, home protection, I live in a beautiful neighborhood. It's so safe. Everybody has Ring cameras. I don't ever, that's like the last thought on my mind. I'm more worried about somebody accidentally opening my door, whether it's like a kid or, something like that. I'm more fearful of something like that happening. But I will say this, I sleep very well at night, and I'm sorry, but if you break into my house, that's the first thing, and if for some reason he doesn't eat your face off or have you running for the hills and you actually manage to escape, because I can see my dog going after that person and then like not stopping until they have what they, it's kind of like pass go collect 200. It's like I'm giving you the green light to execute, and I think like he would probably enjoy that. But no, if you come into my house,
he'll jump over the fence, he'll be gone, he'll be down the block.
And it's just like, yeah. And I mean, if you make it past him, I'm a homeowner, I'm a gun owner. I've been, I have several firearms. I grew up in Northeast Ohio. I'm a country girl. I learned how to hunt at the age of 13. So it's like, if you make it past him, or if you do something to my dog, I'm going to feel even more bad for you, because you're not coming out. You're not making it out alive. There's no going back. So just don't come into my home unannounced, because it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. Amen.
Facts. Those TVs and computers are not worth it. It's not worth it, especially a bike from a Connie Corso. It's not worth it.
Right. And you're just gonna trip over kids' toys and find piles of clothes everywhere. It's not worth it.
Oh wow.
Well, Janet, I appreciate you joining us today and telling us about your love of this amazing breed. They are great.
Yes.
If I would get another dog, it would probably be another Connie Corso. I need to step down from Mastiffs. I love Mastiffs, but it's so much dog.
It's a horse. It's not a dog. It's a horse.
Right.
Well, they are the size of a miniature pony or miniature horse, so you can say that. But thank you for joining us today. We certainly appreciate you.
Yes,
thank you for joining me today and being my guest co-host.
No
and
problem,
again, everybody,
Father.
if you're watching the replay, hit that hashtag replay gang. Hashtag replay gang. Yes, I got it right. I was thinking of the squad, but you can hashtag that squad too if you want to. But make sure you join us next week when our guest will be Zeb from Blue Planet Pets. We're going to be talking about birds. He has over 45 birds, I think. I could be wrong. And not just little birds. He got the big ones and the ones that I really
That's so exciting.
Yes, it's going to be a great show. I can't wait for next week's show as well. And then everybody stick around another 45 minutes for Sunday Snaketuary with F&A. Yep. And then at 7 with what do you call them, Elias? The geriatric crew?
Geriatric crew, the Golden Boys, the old heads,
With Breeding for the Future, which I laugh at because 2 of the 3 of them are younger than me. So KG's the only one that's older than me. Will, I see you sneaking in here late. Make sure you hit that hashtag replay gang. Go back and watch from the beginning. We appreciate you for stopping in, though.
Yes.
But everybody in the chat, thank you for being here with us today. We certainly appreciate all of you for coming out every week and joining us for Everyday Keepers. Janet, stick around. Don't leave yet as we close out the show. Everybody, be yourself. Believe in who you are. If you don't believe in yourself, why should anybody else? I love you. Have an awesome week. Peace and be wild.
Dearly beloved, we are here to talk about this thing called keepers. Keeper means forever, and forever is a mighty long time.